Will, I have good news for you.
What's going on, Tristan?
We have our first sponsor.
What? I'm quitting my job right now. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's true. So, I want to tell you guys, well, whoa, holy did you hear that?
What? No?
I feel like my cat just like ran through the room at like top speed.
Dude, cats do that. Why do they do that so much?
Oh man. All right, this is going in the show. Hey
Yeah.
everybody, welcome to YouTubers United, the channel, the podcast by growing
Mm.
YouTubers for growing YouTubers. And to start off, this episode and the next four are going to be sponsored by TubeBuddy.
TubeBuddy.
And we thought we would you know, celebrate this inaugural sponsorship. I think on either of our cases, like neither of us have gotten
Mm-hmm.
sponsorships via our YouTube channel or anything like that. So this
Mm-hmm.
is kind of a big deal for both of us.
It is. Yeah, it feels weird to be paid to do some work on this platform. Like on podcasting or on YouTube, it's like, what? Money for my efforts? Are you kidding me? This is crazy. So, and also it's not just some random product, but a product that like we both have used, which makes it so much better because we can like really talk about it in a more or less intimate way, if that's the right word to use. Like we know it. And so it's really cool opportunity we have.
Yes, the best part about TubeBuddy is that it allows you to try it for 100 nights, and if you're not satisfied with the quality of your mattress, you get to return it. No, sorry,
Oh,
sorry, sorry.
good.
That's the wrong sponsor. TubeBuddy is the premier product in online education. Wait, no, that's the Great Courses Plus. It
Oh,
is
mm-mm.
the
Audible trial.
best.
Oh no! Oh.
Yeah, it is the number one producer of audio content, like audio books and newspaper. Wait, no,
Ah, we got too many advertisements in our head from so many YouTube channels. No, what TubeBuddy is it's an add-on. If you're a Chrome user, if you're a Firefox user, you can download TubeBuddy, and it just plugs right in to your browser, just like any other sort of add-on that you might have. And what it does is it opens up YouTube in a way that you never thought was possible. That goes for both versions, or well, I guess there's like four different tiers, but even the free version, which I've used, is totally worth installing. You basically link it with your YouTube account, and it opens up some really nice features that you have access to.
yeah. So before we jump into the features and why this is a really great first sponsor for this show, I do want to say that TubeBuddy is something that we have mentioned on this show before. It is a tool that we both used before this,
Mm-hmm.
and it is, it and probably like vidIQ and like Social Blade are like some of like the core tools in a growing YouTuber's toolkit. And so
Mm-hmm.
we're going to tell
For
you
sure.
what you can do with it, what kind of cool features there are, both for free and if you get the license that you'll be able to check out.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, I guess this is where we should probably say, like, I personally have only used the free version. So we're kind of splitting this up into two parts. In the first part, I'm going to talk about my free version and what I've actually used it for in my growth as a channel. So for those of you who are maybe on a budget or who aren't just maybe they can install the free add-on but aren't ready to make that big purchase of going to pro, then that first half is going to be just for you. But be sure to stick around for part two. Tristan has full access to all of TubeBuddy's features, and he's going to be talking about maybe the things that you could get yourself access to today, or at the very least could consider for the future if you really decide to go deep with this add-on.
Yeah, TubeBuddy's got a lot of it's got a lot of licenses, so depending upon what features you want and what you need. Honestly, one of the things how it works is that the licenses kind of gradually move up as the needs for a bigger and more professional channel start to manifest. And
Mm-hmm.
so it kind of is a natural escalation. So let's talk a little bit about TubeBuddy Basics. This is the kind of stuff that you can do right now, no purchases. You literally just install it and you got it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Maybe we should just get rid of the elephant in the room, the one that everyone signs up for. At least the reason that I ended up downloading it was the Tag Explorer. So when you are uploading content onto the internet and you're trying to get people to watch your content or listen in the case of a podcast, but in this case, we're talking about YouTube. So if you're trying to get eyeballs on your video, SEO is super important. Search engine optimization. What is your title? What is your description? And what sort of tags accompany it? And so I have 3 test cases here that I wanted to share with you guys using a tool on TubeBuddy. So here's what it is. If you open your YouTube channel or just the YouTube homepage, you've got TubeBuddy connected. You can click on the little icon up in the top right, and there's a button for the Tag Explorer. I'm going to click it right now. If you click it, you can type in, it looks like the YouTube search bar. You can type in a query. So for example, you could type in bananas. Okay, now I'm going to actually type that in just to see what comes up. Bananas.
I should also recommend, though, while you're typing that in, that you don't type in
please.
a query, you type in a query. Because a
Query,
quarry
yes.
is a large hole in the ground used for mining rocks. And if you type in one of those, you're not going to find much.
Yeah, if you have Wi-Fi there, though, I mean, the world's more connected than ever. You never know. But yes, you are a query. So what's happened is I've typed in the word banana. So what's going to happen on the Tag Explorer? This is super useful. So TubeBuddy gives you a score for your keyword for this, in this case, banana, on a scale of 0 to 100. It does that. 100 would be the best score, and 0 would be the worst score. Bananas has gotten a score of 60, which means this would be a good tag to target. Why? Because, it'd be actually, I'm sorry, I said that totally wrong. It would be a very bad tag to target. Why? Because number one, lots of people are searching for it, which would be a good thing if it wasn't for the fact that competition is super high for the word bananas. And so what TubeBuddy does with this Tag Explorer is it looks at the amount of people searching for a certain word, a certain tag, and it takes the amount of content creators already working or already competing to rank on the first page of YouTube for that tag and gives you a score based on 0 to 100. So it's really, really useful. Tristan, have you had a chance to play with this Tag Explorer and check it out?
I play with this thing almost every day, if not every week. One thing I should mention to you is that if you do want to tag for bananas, if you want to rank for bananas, number 1 is apparently Gwen Stefani's Holla Back Girl. Which I think that's because she says something about blank being bananas. I don't remember, but anyways, so there's a lot of really great features in the Tag Explorer. The scoring method is really useful, but there's a lot of other stuff in there as well. So first of all, you can get a good look of all of the most used tags that are also showing up in searches. So what it'll do is it'll go through all the videos in the top page of searches, find other tags that are also using, like, what the ranked videos are also tagged with, and find the most common ones. This is one so that you can help get yourself associated with those like related videos and things like that. It helps. Then if your topic is big enough, you can also check out a tab on trending, which are things that are related to this tag that are taking off recently. And if you are doing a really big topic, this is actually a good way to find, not so much like if we were doing a video on bananas, maybe bananas are a little bit too basic because, if Gwen Stefani's on there, there's too much competition. So if you go to rising related queries, you'll find some other things, and we can maybe make our video on, let's see what's going on here. The new ones are Dave and Ava. I don't know what that is, but if you know who those two people are, apparently they have something to do with bananas. Demon bananas, OPP bananas, Oops bananas, Apple and bananas, Eating bananas, apples and bananas, or Johnny Bananas, whoever
I
that
like to eat apples and bananas. Okay, that's a good one. What also is really interesting is the auto-suggested tag. So there's another tab then, a tab for a tag, and what it does is, for example, banana was way too general, so it gave me some options, and one of them was Bananas in Pajamas theme song 10 hours. So I clicked that just to see.
In pajamas are chasing Teddy. Do you remember this song?
No.
Oh man, did they not play that in America?
I guess
Bananas
not.
in Pajamas
Just the Star Spangled Banner every day. So unless it was the Star Spangled Banner, I wasn't aware of it.
No, it was a kid's show starring two twin bananas named B1 and B2. That
I vaguely have a memory of this show, but none of the music. Speaking of this banana and pajamas theme song, by making this a much longer tag, right? If you type this into your tag, that'd be taking up like 50 characters. Well, I don't know, but something like that. And but you're getting more bang for your tag because in this case, bananas was a 60 on the score. Bananas and pajamas theme song 10 hours is 78 because while there still are some people searching for it, not a whole lot, there's much less competition. So if you were to upload a video with this title, with this as a tag, and maybe somewhere in your description, you would much easier rank for this term if this was within your genre, within your niche of YouTube. So that's just one of the examples.
This is why this is really good for not just when you're tagging a video you've already made, but when you're doing keyword research in order to decide what topic you're going to make your videos about. Like, say you have a general idea of what kind of subject you want your video to be about, but then you search it up and find out, oh, it's already been done. This is a really great place to go to find some suggestions about other topics that might not be as treaded, but are something that you can use that will give you your, kind of punch in there.
That's the perfect example that I can now segue into a couple case studies that I have here that I've used the Tag Explorer to get views on a video. So I have my first example is a video that I did about North Korea, and it was just basically exploring the idea of reunification between North and South Korea, which is a video and an idea that's been covered on multiple channels. And this was back when I had, I don't remember exactly, but maybe 200 or 300 subscribers. So I wasn't going to be able to compete with some of the bigger channels that had covered this. But right at this moment, that video is now sitting at 42,000 views, which is not insignificant if you're just starting off. The reason I was able to do that is because I went on to the search results. I started looking using TubeBuddy, looking at the tags of my competition, which is something you can do. Click on any video and you can see what tags your competition is using. And I was able to then start typing those tags into the Tag Explorer to see what I might be able to explore, or putting variations on it. Or my favorite thing to do, just start typing, in this example, North Korea into the YouTube search bar, see what autofills, and then putting that into the Tag Explorer to see where that is. So by doing that, I was able to get ranked for the difference between North and South Korea. I'm ranked number 1 for that, at least on my browser, maybe a little bit lower for you. The difference between North and South Korea. Can North and South Korea reunite? North and South Korea reunited. And North Korea explained, I'm ranking at number 7. So by putting those terms in my title and using TubeBuddy to find the right ways to put those in the tags and in the description, those things working in Congress were able to get me ranked for a subject which had competition all over the place. So I was able to kind of worm my way into the correct area of that search term and bring in some traffic. Have you ever done something like that, Tristan?
Oh yeah, there's a few other things too that's in the Tag Explorer that sometimes, depending on your subject, might actually be really useful. And like one would be the history, so you can kind of see the search history, like how popular it's been, to see if this is a topic that's trending up, trending down, or if it's a really stable one with a long tail. There's a map where you can actually see where the volume is located. For example, we're still on bananas. Colombia apparently is like the place to target if you want to make a video about bananas. So maybe you should mention Colombia somehow in your video or something like that in order
Where
to...
I haven't actually ever seen that before. Where? Oh, the map. Oh, that's interesting. I've never noticed that before on TubeBuddy.
Yeah, and if you really
That's a
want to
really
go
cool
down
addition.
the Tag Explorer hole, you can also just go to results, and then you can see what the search results are for that thing. So you can just kind of go from one tag to the next. You don't have to retype in the searches or anything like that.
This is honestly like, as far as I'm going to talk about lots of cool features that I've used on free, but like if it wasn't for this, I don't know if I would have ever downloaded TubeBuddy. And honestly, like for me, this was the number 1 feature. Like this is a great selling point on the free version, and it's just really nice. I'll give you one more example, and then we can move on to some more cool features. But one of my biggest videos is a video on the history of Islam. When I originally uploaded it, I did research with the Tag Explorer, and I found out that typing in brief history of Islam rather than short history of Islam for my title and tag and description there was less competition. And so what I did was, as that video ranked and started ranking for brief history and started really building up speed, I actually changed the word brief to short and started competing for the more intense keyword. But the only reason I knew that that was something that was possible was because of this TubeBuddy Tag Explorer. Some of the stuff you can do manually. If you go into the Google Keyword Planner, you can kind of see what kind of traffic's happening. If you go onto the first page of YouTube search results, you can see how many views the videos on the first page are getting, and how many subscribers they have. So if the video's got more views than they have subscribers, it's probably a term you could compete for. But that's all manual. That's long form. And so what TubeBuddy allows you to do is to get in there fast and just kind of get it knocked out, just in a matter of minutes, rather than maybe doing keyword research for an hour to figure out these little subtleties.
Yeah. And I mean, this is just the top. Like, the thing is that TubeBuddy keeps adding new features and adding cool things that you can do. Just like a little small one that I can remember off the top of my head that's really that's free is that when you go to edit your videos, you can actually see if you rank in a search.
Mm-hmm.
And that shows you which tags are working for you. And we'll
Yeah.
talk a little bit more about that when we talk about some of the pro features, because there's some cool stuff you can do with these tags with some other stuff. So keep that in mind.
That's a really good point. I've gotten so used to it being here on my video manager when I look at my tags for my videos that it didn't occur to me to mention it. Yeah, like I can look at the tags that I've used on my videos and it can tell me, for example, my last case study, the Trent Affair, a video I did over a year ago now. I can see that I'm ranking number 1 for the Trent Affair Civil War. Could the South have won the Civil War? I'm ranking number 5. So I can see that there's a little green number next to all the tags that's kind of been inserted by the add-on to let me know how I'm doing. So super useful, and I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah. So what are some other features that you are regular user of when you're on your account?
So the number one, like besides the Tag Explorer thing, the number one thing that I do, which I just love and can't be overstated enough how like simple and how amazing this is that I can go to the I can go to my YouTube analytics, I can go to my comments, I can go to my real-time analytics and my messages, my dashboard in one single click. So TubeBuddy has a little tab up on the right when you have it installed. If you open the tab and you can click on real-time analytics, subscribers, messages, comments. It used to be, I don't know, maybe I've just always done it wrong. Somebody can tell me, but I always had to go first open my channel, then click like the video manager or the dashboard, and then go into the there were several clicks involved getting to analytics in the past. And TubeBuddy allows you just single click to go into there for no other reason. Like that might be a good reason to get the add-on just for that alone.
Yeah. I also think that there's some really cool stuff with keeping track of your videos. This is something that I used when I was still on the free license as well, which is that if you look, you could do a whole bunch of really small things just on every video as kind of part of your keeping track of how well a video is doing and part of the launch procedure. So one, you can do vid-to-vid promotion, which will automatically go through all of your videos and say, put like a little thing at the end of the description to say, go check out this new video that I made, or put in the little corner that like, go watch this video. Then there's also the social monitor, which keeps track of when your video is posted on things like Twitter or Reddit. It used to do, I think it does Google Plus, but nobody's on Google Plus, so I never find anything. Pinterest and I think Facebook, but I think Facebook changes API, so it doesn't work really well anymore.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. Like being able to go see the social monitor and to see how you're doing. You can also do the same thing with your competition. So if you're curious, maybe somebody's outranking you or getting more views on something that you've done, you can go and see, well, maybe their video is more shareable. You can do the same thing with their tags as well. You can see how they're ranking for certain tags by opening up the tabs that automatically appear as you're watching their video, assuming you have TubeBuddy installed. That's nice as well. The best time to publish is another free feature. So if you are on your YouTube page and you open up the TubeBuddy tab and you go to the right side bottom, best time to publish, I can click mine right now. For example, it's telling me that my best time to publish for my subscribers would be Sunday at 8 a.m. That's interesting. That's changed since the last time I looked. Let's see for everyone. There it is. Tuesday at 8 a.m. it says. So I can see it, and that's my time here in Europe. But it tells me basically based on engagement, based on comments, based on just view trends, when a good time to publish would be, because as all of us who are into these things know, view acceleration is a big thing on YouTube, and getting a lot of views in the first 24, 48 hours can be make or break. And so by publishing at the right time on the right day, obviously I can't quantify it because there's a lot of other things that I try to do to distribute my content, but this certainly does not help. If you happen to upload at or maybe just before one of these peak times that's given by TubeBuddy, you're giving yourself just that extra little advantage.
Yeah. I think that those are all really great tools. And see, like, it's kind of hard to talk about TubeBuddy because, first of all, it's, it's hard not to just like sound like we're just like gushing about it. But also, it has so much utility, and I've had it for so long now that it kind of just feels like part of YouTube. And it's like, TubeBuddy, it's basically all the things that Google forgot to implement themselves.
Yeah. If I can just say one more, and then maybe we can move on to some of the pro bonuses. But I've opened up the channel School of Life. If you're not subscribed to them, go subscribe. I'm sure my shout out will get them all full-time jobs now doing this. They have 2.2 million subscribers. And if you open up any channel page on YouTube with TubeBuddy installed, there's an extra tab. So usually you have home, videos, playlists, community. Community, they lucky channel got the community tab, channels, and about. But TubeBuddy, there's a new tab there now called Channelytics. And if I open it up, it tells me a little bit about my competition. So first it'll tell me if they're part of a network. So I can see that School of Life is part of the Discovery Digital Networks, which I did not know until those words just came out of my mouth. Interesting. I can see their estimated monetization just like you can on Social Blade.
No, that is Social Blade.
Oh yeah, these from Social Blade, these stats? They can see the average number of views for video. I can see how many videos they have, how many views they have overall. And interesting, if you scroll down a bit, it gives you their you versus them subscribers for the last 30 days. So I can see that I've gotten 1,000 subs in the last 30 days. Almost as many as School of Life. They've gotten about 154,000. So just a little bit more, and I might be able to overtake them next week. I can do the same thing if I switch that to views for the last 30 days. I can see that I've gotten about 100,000, and they've gotten about 14.8 million views. So you can start to compare things in that way, especially if you have someone that you're like, oh, I'm keeping an eye on him. I want to see how he or she's doing and make sure that I'm keeping pace. Then this can feed that desire of yours. Also see the channel tags, which, by the way, I don't know if we mentioned, but anytime you look at tags, whether it be on a video or a channel, you can copy those tags for yourself. I wouldn't recommend just doing that blanket, but you at least have the option there, and you can at least swipe some things that look pretty good.
Yep. So do you want to cross the paywall now?
Let's see. I think we can cross the paywall. We're now in part 2 of the TubeBuddy Special.
Alrighty, everybody. So TubeBuddy has a lot of great functionality that makes, even with no money, your YouTube channel much easier to use, much more convenient, and gets you a lot more deep data. But they save all of their gems for those who put a little bit of money in to support TubeBuddy's development. And man, there's some really cool features. And I was very lucky to get a license to check out all of the features of TubeBuddy, and I've had a lot of fun with it so far. So there's a few really great tools to start with. A lot of it is stuff for real simple, keeping things quick, especially if you're on a growing channel and you start having more and more problems with dealing with comments, and maybe you're a channel that makes a lot of videos in the same format. So TubeBuddy has some really great features for making canned responses for comments. Because how many times have you gotten a comment, Will, that is basically a comment that you could respond by saying, thanks?
Quite often.
Wouldn't it be great if you could just click and, click the canned response thanks and just kind of go on with your comment response day?
It would be very nice, yes. Mm-hmm.
Other things they have is, say, you can bulk change. So you can save end cards, or you can save regular cards, or you can save annotations in a template, which you can then copy or actually change all of your videos to go onto the same template. So say you have like a nice setup you like for your end cards. You can then copy them to every single one of your videos, so you don't have to go through the hundreds of videos that are still in annotations and fix them. Or for new videos, you don't have to worry about putting in cards and annotations all over again every single time. You can just go off the template and change the things that you need to change. So it's also got a bunch of really cool things for people who have certain different types of needs for their channel. You can sunset videos, which is where you can actually hide or remove a video after a certain date and time. Schedule to publish a video, which is something that is in the thing now, but you can do some stuff to... we were talking a little bit about playlists before.
Mm-hmm.
This is something where you can actually hold your video from adding to playlists until the video comes out. So you can say, I want to release it this time and put it in these playlists. It'll do that all at the same time, so you don't end up having these playlists that have an extra item that you can't watch.
Oh.
It has a lot of cool stuff, like it has templates for things like for pre-launch checklists. So a lot of like top YouTubers, a lot of the ones that we've talked about, I think the ones off the top of my head I can think of are Roberto Blake, Daryl Eves, Amy Schmittauer, and Tim Schmoyer all have checklists, pre-video launch checklists that are actually, I think, available as free features, aren't they?
I've never used one, but it's possible. It looks like it is. Yeah, I've got the features open right now. Upload checklist is available to all users from free to legend.
Yeah, you can make your own, but what they do is they kind of let you click through all of the things you need to remember to make a video go up and be successful. Then...
which is nice.
Yeah, then there's all of the really cool data stuff they have on top of this. So first of all, I'm just checking right now. I can check the health report of my channel, which is a better way of looking at, say, the like kind of dashboard page for your analytics where you see like whether or not things are growing. This is a much better version of that, where if you click on your health report, you can see how many views you have, how many subscribers you have, how many uploads you have, what your views are like in the last 30 days, what your subscribers have been like in the last 30 days, engagement. You can even see a little graph of the engagement, what YouTube searches you're ranking in. So like what your search traffic looks like. So I can see all the search terms that's bringing viewers in and whether or not they're moving up or down, related video traffic, and what websites they're coming in through. So if somebody on a big website links to your video and doesn't tell you, you can see that traffic on there.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
You can see a quick look at your demographics to just realize how much of an overwhelming sausage fest Step Back history is right now.
Same here, man. Same here.
Yeah, devices, regions, where they're playing it back, how much like engagement is broken down. So it's got a lot of really cool stuff that just gives a glimpse of what your channel... A glimpse.
What?
That's not even a word. I'm so excited.
A glimpse. A glimpse. Ah, yes. Now I've got my... I said quarry earlier, and now you've said glimpse. So now we're even. It's all good. Just to break it up here, because I want to make sure that everybody's following. And so I said that the Tag Explorer was like... the free features was the one that like really pulled me in, and I've used the most. Is there a pro feature that really has stuck out to you as the superstar, the one that you've really used more than anything else?
Oh, yes. Actually, I was just about to get into that. It's called the Launchpad.
Perfect transition.
Yeah, we're good at this. So the Launchpad is an all-in-one stop for TubeBuddy to take care of your video from the time you first upload it until it is ready to go, and even fix up old videos so that they're optimized in different ways. So the first thing that you can do is it gives you a checklist template. So this is the same thing that you get on the upload screen. It's just on there with more of a breakdown, I think. Then you have, but you can also run your videos through to check things like best practices setups. And so there's I'm just going to tell you a few of the best practices. They will scan your video, even old videos that you run through it, and check for things that are best practices, like Things like whether or not you have captions. If you forgot to add captions, it'll tell you whether or not you
Hmm.
have cards, broken links in your description, not in playlists, too few tags, maybe too small of a resolution on your thumbnail, your title not containing tags from your video, because if your video has a tag, like words from the tag in the title of the video, it's even higher chance that it'll rank in the search.
Hmm.
And also making sure that your title is the right length. And then it's got even more stuff because it also has an opportunities section that you can take through your video, which are chances for you to increase the results of the video through various tiny things. Like if a video has a viewer drop off at a certain point, it'll tell you and it'll recommend that you put some cards there so that they have other things to click off to so that the session time doesn't end.
Mm.
There's also, it'll tell you whether or not your video is above or below average for your channel's watch time to determine whether or not this was a good video idea to go forward with.
Hmm.
Whether or not there's unanswered comments, whether or not there's been some social mentions, like on Twitter or something like that, that you can either thumbs up or like or retweet or something like that. Suggested tags. So what it will do is it'll find some search results that this video ranks in. So like it'll go through the analytics and find traffic that's come to this video through search and try to get you to add as many of those terms into the tags of the video as possible so that it ranks even higher.
Hmm.
And then,
That's really nice.
there's some suggested tags. That's how that works. And also let you know if it's blocked in some countries, if that's information
Germany.
you want to know.
It's always Germany.
Yeah, and then you can also just actively monitor your channel so that it sends you emails when things are happening. So 5 days. So if you put your video into Launchpad 5 days after the video comes out, when there's been some data to analyze, it'll then say, hey, come back to the Launchpad. We have some things you can tweak on your video so that it can be optimized. So it's like a one-stop shop for launching a video. It is probably the best premium feature that I've seen in TubeBuddy so far.
Oh man, I'm so jealous that you got all these extra features. Have you had a chance, not to like get you off track if you want to talk about some other features, but have you had a chance to deal with any of the audio things that I see here at the bottom? Audio Hero, the Juke Deck. It looks like one of these features is you have like a computer that'll write you a song for your videos. That sounds awesome.
That sounds like fun. I should try that next time.
Yeah, it's free. You should definitely try it and report back to us in maybe a future episode when we're. By the way, everyone who's listening, we're doing this one TubeBuddy special, and the future videos, like we won't be spending the whole hour on TubeBuddy, so don't worry that we're becoming the TubeBuddy podcast or anything. But yeah, if you could report back to us on the Juke Deck and maybe the Audio Hero, I'd be super interested to hear what those do. I think finding music is one of the most difficult things for videos because sometimes you find a good song, but it doesn't last long enough, or the tempo changes, or maybe like the bass is just a little bit too much to where it like interferes with your voiceover. I find that all very challenging. If there could be a computer that just like you tell it what mood you want and it kind of stays within a certain range and never overpowers your voice, that'd be just awesome.
That'd be just dandy. So the next cool paid feature that I want to tell you about, you talked a little bit about the me versus them on the channel page.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
I think I remember. It seems like so long ago, but I recall saying those words, yes.
In the halcyon days of 10 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a really cool feature that they have here that is a bit like that to the next extreme. So if you really need a strong blow to your self-esteem, this is an amazing feature. It's called competitors. And what you can do is you can make a list of all of the channels that you feel like you're competing with. So I've had on my list, I added a handful of channels of friends and people who have similar kind of stuff to me, that kind of thing. And it has a whole competitor scorecard where you can see how everyone is doing on every single metric. So I can see here that out of our group, you have the most subscribers, but Patrick has the most views. But But Cypher, the cynical historian, has uploaded the most amount of videos. And you can even like see these things like on a whole checklist. You can see like the trend rates. Like you can actually see like the cumulative view like multi-line charts. You can see how everyone's doing against each other or subscriber count. So you can kind of keep track of all that stuff, and you can always feel like you're less than others.
Oh my god, that sounds like a nightmare and something that I would check every day.
Yep. I only check it if I've like made a serious mind to only check it every once in a while because it's kind of depressing.
I have to say that, like, just as a side note about YouTube analytics in general, like real-time analytics, checking your subscriber number, like, oh my gosh, that stuff is so addicting. I can imagine if that's your thing, going and digging deep into data is like your forte, then TubeBuddy is going to be your best friend. Did you already talk about the A/B testing? Because that was, to me, something that sounded just like, as out of all the features, was the most intriguing.
Yeah, this is the next one I'm going to get into, and it's the last big major feature that I want to talk out with you. So I mentioned a few episodes ago that I really wish that YouTube let us do stuff like maybe choose a couple titles and a couple thumbnails, and it could A/B test these to find the best combination of those.
Mm-hmm.
TubeBuddy has that, and I don't have data because my first test with A/B testing finished on the 26th,
Mm-hmm.
which is today. So I think it still needs a few days to get the analytics from that day, and then it'll tell me how everything has performed. But I can tell you a little bit about how it works. You basically take one of your videos, you choose, you can A/B test anything, thumbnails, titles, tags, descriptions, all of those. And you don't have to do all of them. You can choose which ones you do. And it'll do about a 2-week test where it will every day switch the thumbnail and the titles. So go between these two variations of the video. So right now I'm doing one on my most recent video, When Communism Collapsed. And every day it was switching between that title and the collapse of the communist world. And switching between two thumbnails that have different visual language going on. And so what I've been doing over the last 2 weeks is it's been doing that. And I have a little bit of analytics to say that one version is actually performing a little bit better than the other, but you never know. And when we get the data at the end, it'll recommend something for me. And that way, you can try a couple titles, you can try a couple thumbnails, and with 2 weeks, as long as you have a video that makes about 100 views a day, I think is like what it needs to work statistically, then you can kind of test out different types of things. And it's pretty exciting. I can't wait to see the results.
I really want to hear the feedback on that. And I also would like to hear if anybody from TubeBuddy listens to this, or maybe we can just ask them since we're kind of working with them now a little bit. I'd be curious to know, like, have they spoken to the people at you? Like, how do they know that by changing those things, they aren't... That's the only thing I have a question about is, like, how do we know by changing those factors so often that we're not hurting our video by sending mixed messages to YouTube? That little bit confuses me a little on a just a curiosity level. I don't know that information, but I've always been hesitant to change things for fear of messing up the algorithm in some way. The vague and powerful algorithm.
Oz the vague and powerful. And I mean, there's some other really like kind of smaller features that also are like quality of life things. That can give you a link to your most recent upload that then you can put on your social media, which it keeps analytics on, so you can actually see how often it's clicked, or your most popular video. So you can have one URL that always links to your most popular video, even if that changes. Your channel links, things like that, or the channel page with the subscription pop-up, which is like, the better link to always put through.
What about Facebook? Did you mention publishing to Facebook? There's been a lot, so I might have just missed
Oh
it.
yeah, that's the other thing too, is you can also have a option to upload your video. You can connect it to your Facebook page, and you can upload your video directly onto the Facebook video, so you don't have to upload it twice, which is what I was doing before. So those are all of the really big paid features that I've played with, and they're really exciting. And they're definitely going to be more and more applicable and useful for me as I get kind of a bigger and bigger channel, especially when it comes to things like managing large amounts of videos, possibly collaborating with other people to work on the channel, things like that.
I would really like to... first of all, I'm jealous that you have this. And second of all, I would really like to get an update on the things that you've been mentioning, especially the A/B testing. That just sounds super interesting to me. just to know how that's working out for you. And I, it sounds to me like we've talked off air a little bit about it, and it sounds like really by going the full way and getting the full, paid account on TubeBuddy, that it's tempting me to go ahead and take that plunge myself.
Yeah, so if you are interested in any of these features, like I said, there's kind of a sliding scale. So some of the more features that might be more applicable for like bigger companies and things like that are on the higher end. So if you go and look, you could probably find a license that works for you. And if you are interested in checking that out, we have some links so you can save you some money. So first of all, if you want to check out TubeBuddy and you want to think about buying a license, go to tubebuddy.com/YTUnited. And this is our affiliate link. We've probably told you about these before. And, oh no. And if you sign up for a license for TubeBuddy, you can actually get 20% off your license by entering the promo code YouTubers United Buddy, all one word. So YouTubers United Buddy. And it'll let them know that you came from YouTubers United, and that'll mean that we help them out, and that means that they might sponsor us again someday. Who knows? You get, and
Awesome.
it's 20% off. You get 20% off your license by putting it in.
20% off. Okay, well, I'll get back to everybody. I've been waiting. I've been trying to like find the right moment to invest in TubeBuddy. Some of those features are I don't know if my data points are big enough yet to invest in the biggest package, but maybe buying a year of Pro even, which is much more affordable for me on a smaller budget. We'll have to see if I go ahead and do it when we talk on the podcast next week. Anything else you want to talk about? Everybody who's listened, we've kind of been like, what's the word, dolling over TubeBuddy. We really do like the tool though. We're not just like, I swear when I mentioned my case studies, I really did use it. And I think Tristan is really genuinely excited about telling me about on these things when like we talked off the air. So we like it. We think you will too. So we really do encourage you to go and download the add-on.
So yeah, check it out for yourself and only do what makes sense for you. I do have a few other small features that we can talk about, like the thing you can make animated GIFs out of your videos. If you're not a Photoshop fanatic, there's actually a thumbnail creator, like a bunch of small things that are also paid features that you can check out too. But I think we should really be true to the spirit of the show, being authentic, being actionable, and tell what we think about the worth of this product. And I know that we've gushed, so our answer will be it's probably worth it, but let's talk about what kind of factors you want to put in mind to make sure that this is worth the purchase for growing a channel.
Sure. Yeah. I can tell you the like I've only used the free version, but I can say the free version has made me some money. So I've profited just from using the free version. And the way that I've done that is by ranking in search for certain thing. I can tell you, for example, that over the last 28 days, my Islam video has gotten 20% of its views from search. And that search and those tags and the things that I was using came directly from the TubeBuddy tag explorer. So I can tell you that if I had been using one of the licenses, it would have paid for itself. At least the smaller one would have paid for itself on this video alone in the last month. So that's, at least to me, that's the value of it. What about for you?
Well, I would agree that TubeBuddy has a lot of free features that really are useful for getting your channel started, especially the free features are kind of the ones that are designed for newer channels to get their foot in the door. And then I like some of these features that I get to play with, but I also know that some of them are for channels that are maybe a little bit bigger than my own. So maybe they have limited utility. Like A/B testing sounds like it'd be pretty good for my channel, but still my channel's a little too small, I think, to make full use of it. But if you were a really big channel, it'd be more useful. That's why it's one of the more pricey features. But
that's good. That's nice that that's like good and honest to get that out of the way. That's nice.
But things like the Launchpad are really great for like a mid-sized channel like mine. And I think that those like optimizations, when you start getting into the realm where views become kind of a statistic, like, like when companies or when brands turn into a point where like the amount of customers you get, it turns into a statistic at the same time as, every individual, knowing every individual coming in, having things like optimizing cards at major drop-offs are pretty useful things, and you could end up with longer watch time because, as I mentioned to you guys, session time, if they watch your video and don't click through the end but click through to another video and watch that and click through to another video and watch that, that's still, it doesn't count as watch time, but it counts as session time, which helps in how the algorithm promotes videos. So it's something to keep in mind. This is why playlists are so great.
Yeah, for sure.
So I really like having a lot of things for, dotting all those I's, crossing all those T's, and maybe finding those opportunities that I wouldn't know what to do. Like, I think I've mentioned to you many times before, when it comes to analytics, like, I think analytics is nice, but I never know how to translate what I see in my analytics into actual stuff to do. And I think that the Launchpad features that I was talking about, the best practices and opportunities, sort of opens that up and actually looks at your analytics and actually finds things that you can do.
I think it's funny you mentioned that. Just today I was getting frustrated with the analytics app, the Creator app, the Creator Studio on iOS, because it is now started these little push notifications or to like kind of pop up on the screen when you have the app open. It'll say, you have a big spike in likes or you have a big spike in watch time for this day. It's always when I upload, so no surprise. But when I click on it, there's a tab that says, what can I do? Like, what action can I take? And I'm always like, oh, cool. Tell me what I can do. And then it says, do more things people like. You have a big spike in watch time. Make more videos with watch time. You're like, oh, thanks, Creator Studio, for that wonderful insight.
You should make more videos that people like. That should be like
generalist advice ever.
There you go. We're gonna make our own like how to grow a YouTube channel like ebook that will sell, and it'll just be one page and it'll say make good videos people like, and then it's done. That's the whole thing.
Tell people to share. Yeah, exactly.
So,
oh my god.
So again, if you want to check out these things, go to tubebuddy.com/YTUnited. And of course, to save yourself 20% off your subscription, you can type in YouTubers United Buddy, all one word, in the promo section.
Which I should just add one more thing then. Definitely go check out those links. They are in the show notes. So if you're like scribbling that down, stop. Just go ahead and click the show notes and copy paste. It's 2017. Second thing, if you are confused on the fence, I in case you've ever emailed us before, I'm the guy who does the email and the Twitter most of the time. If you email me, though, really anytime from now on, ytsunitedpodcast@gmail.com, tweet us at ytsunitedpodcast. Ask us a question about these things that we've been talking about. We've gone through so much. If it's about free features, I'll answer it. If it's about something pro, I'll make sure that Tristan gets it and that he can give you an answer in a reasonable amount of time. So if you're curious, we want to communicate with you guys. This is our first sponsorship, so we want to make sure that the sponsor's happy, but more important, our audience, we want to make sure that you know what you're getting into and that you feel like you haven't, feel like if you do invest or if you just download that, you feel like it was a worthwhile thing to do.
Yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit to round off the show. Socrates.
Yeah.
For anybody who's ever watched Bill and Ted, yeah. So you made a video about Socrates.
Socrates. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
I have to say a couple things. Movie. I have to say a couple things about this video.
Please.
By far your best video. Quality-wise.
What? Really?
Quality-wise, when you started getting into like the chart and you started really breaking stuff down about how history works and how historians have talked about Socrates and everything like that, I was like, holy crap, that's like really like that showed really good understanding of what you were talking about. But also, you kept the interest going, and I thought that it was a really great topic to delve into. So, and the animation and stuff was actually like probably the highest quality. I think it was my favorite anyway, political junkie video that I've seen.
Wow, I really appreciate that. I was not expecting that response. That's awesome. I'm glad you liked it. I had a good time making it for sure. I this is actually, I'll just be open with the audience here. This is a spin-off of another project I'm working on, and I was reading about Plato. You'll notice, I'll just give you a hint. The video starts off with the Republic, and that was the actual book that I was working with when I decided to make this spin-off about Socrates himself. And I had a good time making it. I I vocalized my frustration last week about the filming and some of the things that went into it, but in the end, I think that it worked pretty well to do like a little bit less face cam and a little bit more animation. I think I found a nice balance there. And also, I feel way more comfortable with After Effects than I did even like 2 months ago. And so I've learned, for example, I'm learning about presets now and kind of automizing some of the things in After Effects. And that's helped me to keep the, I mean, I would never say the process is fast in creating a video, but it definitely like allowed me to be more fluid in what I was doing. So thank you for the compliment. Really, that's a very nice thing to say.
Yeah, and if you make a Play-Doh video, that would be really great because unlike Socrates, Play-Doh is non-toxic.
We're good to go
Man.
to the mall with Socrates.
There's only like one time in my life that I could make that joke, and that was right then.
I appreciate that you made it, and I'm glad you did it. And I think that the audience will also think that that was a worthwhile joke to invest our time into.
As for me, I haven't done. I have a whole bunch of stuff coming up at the end of April. Some things that
Yeah.
I'll get in a lot of trouble if I don't finish. So I'm doing those, and then I'm going to really quickly try to put together the rest of this video that I'm working on for the 30th. And if I don't make the 30th, I will not be surprised.
Well, the last couple weeks have kind of been the political junkie weeks as far as YouTubers United is concerned, talking about me. I hope that maybe towards the end of the month, it'll become the Step Back History,
Yeah.
weeks, and we'll be talking exclusively about you and your successes.
So I should say there's a couple things that will be happening hopefully for next week. One, there'll be a new video that'll be
Woo!
a lot of Step Back 2.0 stuff, a lot of changes, a lot of stuff I'm really happy with. This is the one that I think I'm the most happy with the script I've ever been. Second of all, in a few hours after I do this, I'm going to go do my first Subscriber Appreciation Day Sunday live stream where I'm going to talk with the audience and we're going to talk about world revolutions and such.
Subscriber Appreciation Sunday. Only Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. That's awesome. Is there going to be a special guest?
Yeah, it's going to be Cypher the Cynical Historian.
Did you say that when you were? Yes, I knew the answer to that question before I asked it, but I'm
now-
excited to listen. I'm
now-
excited to watch. And
Your Sunday
this is-
Sunday thing.
Yeah, I know it's all my fault. We are gonna, all of us, at least I know me. Who am I? I'm talking for all of the union, but I will be watching and listening, and I hope, will all be interested in hearing. We talked last week about how you were using these as kind of a way to start integrating your community more and to be uploading more often. So I'll be interested to hear how the engagement was on this and if you think you'll want to keep doing it as time goes on.
Sounds good. I also should mention, now that you mentioned Sunday, I have to say, you're coming to America soon, and you're bringing along your German wife. And this makes me think that you have to take her to the cultural, like the American version of the opera that is monster truck rallies.
Oh man, it won't be the first thing that we do. I'll try to show her the more enlightened parts of the states first, and then we might mosey our way over there. There's some
The
dirt
haute
track
couture.
races that go on in Texas, so it's possible.
The haute couture, the demolition derby.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it in German, or I would do a German like impression of that, what you just said. But hey, actually, she's sitting behind me, Marie. Marie, you know those like rallies where they break up cars, like big monster trucks? Do you know what you would call a monster truck in German? Ein Monster Truck, she says. Der
Ein
Monster
Monster Truck?
Truck? Das Mon? Der Monster Truck.
What?
So
What gender is a monster truck?
it's a masculine it's a masculine noun, Der Monster Truck. So you can say
Der Truckosaurus.
Der Truckosaurus, yeah. Awesome. If anybody is listening and wants to ask us a question, we're just two guys. We're not YouTube experts. This is the podcast by growing YouTubers for growing YouTubers. That means that we too are learning right along with you. But if you want to ask us something that maybe we should think about or discuss, email us ytunitedpodcast@gmail.com, at ytunitedpodcast on any of your social networks. And we hope to see you back again next week where we'll have a more regularly scheduled episode.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Bye, guys.
Bye.